It starts with something small, a single decision, a quiet spark that whispers, "What if this $100 could become more?" Most people would laugh. They'd say it's impossible. They'd see only numbers, not potential. But the truth is, great transformations never start with what you have. They start with how you think. That $100 in your hand isn't just money. It's energy. It's time you once traded for value. It's possibility, waiting for a direction. And if you can learn to guide it with discipline and intention, you can turn it into something far greater than you ever imagined. Turning $100 into $10,000 isn't about magic, luck, or secret tricks. It's about growth. Growth in patience, in knowledge, in control. It's about mastering yourself before mastering money. Because every dollar reflects your mindset. Every gain mirrors your discipline. Every loss teaches your next step. At first, the journey is quiet. You learn to slow down, to watch, to understand where your attention goes. You begin asking new questions. How can I make this grow? How can I create more value? How can I think long term? And slowly, you start to notice, wealth isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by becoming someone capable of handling it. The process is simple, but not easy. You will fail. You will doubt. You will want to quit. But the $100 teaches you resilience. It reminds you that small progress is still progress. And one day, without realizing it, your $100 no longer looks small, because your mind, your habits, and your confidence have grown beyond it. So as we begin this journey, remember, this is not about turning paper into numbers. It's about turning lessons into strength. It's about turning your mindset into your greatest investment. Let's walk through the steps, calmly, intentionally, and with belief, on how $100 truly becomes $10,000. 1. The mindset shift. Before you can grow your money, you must grow your mind. This is where everything begins, not with numbers or charts, but with awareness. Most people think wealth starts with income. It doesn't. It starts with intention, because how you think about $100 determines how you'll handle $10,000. The same habits that limit you with a small amount will destroy you with a larger one. The difference between someone who multiplies their money and someone who loses it isn't luck, it's mindset. The successful person looks at $100 and asks, "What can this become?" The average person looks at the same amount and says, "It's not enough." That small difference in perspective changes everything. Your $100 represents possibility. It's a chance to learn how money moves, how patience feels, and how consistency compounds. When you treat that $100 with respect, when you choose to protect it, save it, and give it purpose, you begin to shape the habits of a true builder. Every great investor, trader, and entrepreneur began here, with curiosity, discipline, and a small amount of capital. They understood one truth: money follows mindset. You cannot expect external growth without internal stability. That means controlling emotion. It means resisting the urge to compare your progress to others. It means focusing not on speed, but on sustainability. You learn to see money not as something to spend, but as something to manage, multiply, and master. You start reading, learning, studying. You make small, careful moves and treat every loss as a lesson, not a defeat. You stop chasing and start planning. The goal isn't to get rich quickly. It's to build the character that can hold wealth when it arrives. That's why so many who win big too soon lose it just as fast. Their mindset never evolved to match their money. So before you try to double your $100, train your perspective. Be patient with the process. Be calm when results are slow. Because your growth isn't measured by how fast your balance rises. It's measured by how much wiser you become while waiting. Once your mindset is right, every dollar you touch will start to behave differently. You'll stop seeing limits and start seeing opportunities. You'll realize that money is not your master, it's your mirror, and that mirror will reflect exactly who you are becoming. 2. The power of discipline. Once your mindset shifts, the next test begins: discipline. Because knowledge without consistency is like planting a seed and never watering it. Turning $100 into $10,000 isn't a quick sprint. It's a slow climb built on daily intentional effort. The secret isn't in the market, the business, or the opportunity. It's in your ability to stay focused when emotions try to take control. Discipline means choosing growth over comfort. It means deciding to save when it's easier to spend. It means working on your craft when no one is watching. Most people fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they lack structure. They get inspired for a moment and lose focus the next. They start a plan, face a challenge, and quit halfway. But the disciplined mind doesn't stop. It adapts, adjusts, and continues, calmly, quietly, and consistently. Discipline is what turns ideas into results. It transforms your $100 from something that disappears into something that multiplies. When you practice restraint, you create space for growth. When you delay gratification, you give compounding time to work in your favor. Every time you resist an impulse to spend unnecessarily, you're not just saving money, you're strengthening control. You're proving that you are in charge, not your emotions. And that kind of control will make you wealthier than any shortcut ever could. Think of discipline as the bridge between your goals and your results. Without it, your dreams stay dreams. With it, everything becomes possible. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Even small, repeated actions, saving $5, learning one new thing daily, refining one skill, can create massive results over time. That's the hidden power of discipline. It compounds, just like money. There will be moments of doubt, days when your progress feels invisible. But remember, growth doesn't announce itself. It happens quietly, under the surface, like roots forming before a tree breaks through the ground. Stay steady, stay intentional, because discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It shields your future from your present impulses. And once you've mastered it, you'll realize something profound. You no longer chase results. You create them, slowly, patiently, and powerfully. 3. The patience principle. Patience, the quiet strength behind every lasting success. It's the hardest lesson in the journey, from $100 to $10,000, because it asks you to wait when your heart wants results right now. We live in a world that celebrates speed, fast money, fast fame, fast success, but real wealth doesn't sprint. It grows like nature, slowly, silently, and only with time. When you start small, it's easy to get discouraged. You save, you invest, you learn, but progress feels invisible. You watch others seem to leap ahead while your line barely moves. That's when most people quit. But the patient few, the ones who stay consistent through the quiet phase, they're the ones who break through. Because patience allows compounding to do its magic. It gives your small efforts time to multiply. Every act of patience is a hidden deposit toward your future. Every time you choose to wait, to breathe, to trust the process, you're proving to yourself that you believe in growth, even when you can't yet see it. Think of your $100 like a seed planted in the soil. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it, you protect it, you trust it. That's what patience looks like. It's not doing nothing. It's doing the right things long enough for results to appear. Impatience, on the other hand, is the silent killer of growth. It makes you jump from one idea to the next, chasing shortcuts, losing momentum every time you restart. Patience keeps you rooted. It keeps your vision clear. To master patience, you must learn to find peace in the process. Celebrate small wins. Reflect on what's improving. Understand that slow progress is not failure. It's foundation. When you practice patience, you develop emotional stability, the ability to stay calm in chaos, to stay focused when results are uncertain. That emotional maturity is what separates dreamers from doers. Because the truth is simple, the market, the business, or the investment doesn't reward the fastest. It rewards the most patient. Your $100 will grow, not because you chase growth, but because you nurture it with time. And one day, you'll look back and realize the waiting wasn't a delay, it was the transformation. Patience didn't just grow your money, it grew you. 4. The power of compounding. There's a quiet force in the universe that builds wealth, not through speed, but through time. It's called compounding. And once you understand it, everything changes. Compounding is simple in theory. What you earn begins to earn, and those earnings begin to earn too. Over time, the effect becomes exponential, small numbers growing into something extraordinary. But to experience it, you must first respect the process. Your $100 won't become $10,000 in a day, a week, or even a few months. But with patience and consistency, compounding transforms small effort into lasting success. It's not just about money, it's about momentum. Every decision you make adds a brick to your foundation. Each good habit multiplies the strength of the last. The person who understands compounding knows that even the smallest positive action, repeated often enough, becomes unstoppable. When you save, invest, and reinvest, you are giving your money permission to work for you. The key is to let it breathe, to give it time to expand without interruption. Every withdrawal, every emotional decision slows the growth. Every patient moment accelerates it. Albert Einstein once called compounding the eighth wonder of the world. He said those who understand it, earn it, and those who don't, pay it. That truth still stands today. You can apply compounding not only to money, but to your life. Learning one skill a day compounds into mastery. Reading one page a day compounds into wisdom. Making one disciplined choice a day compounds into freedom. The principle is universal. Consistency multiplied by time equals transformation. When you start to see your $100 earn even a small return, don't spend it. Reinvest it. Let it build. Let your earnings create more earnings. That's how true wealth begins. Not with one big win, but with hundreds of small consistent victories. Compounding rewards the calm. It honors those who choose persistence over panic, who choose patience over greed. At first, the numbers seem slow. Painfully slow, but one day, the curve bends upward. That's when the effort of months or years suddenly blooms. You'll realize your money isn't growing in a straight line. It's accelerating, and that acceleration doesn't stop. It continues quietly, faithfully, as long as you stay consistent. Compounding is a reflection of life itself. Everything meaningful grows slowly, then suddenly. So let your $100 breathe. Let it work. And remember, the power isn't in how much you have, it's in how long you're willing to let it grow. 5. The reinvestment rule. Every time your $100 grows, even by a little, you're faced with a choice. Do you take the profit now, or let it grow bigger? That choice defines who you'll become in the journey of wealth. The reinvestment rule is simple, yet powerful. Don't eat your seed. When your $100 becomes $120, most people spend the $20. But those who understand growth know that the $20 isn't for spending, it's for planting again. This is the stage where emotional maturity matters most. You start to see that every dollar has a job. Some dollars are meant to protect, some to multiply, and some to build freedom. If you spend too early, you break the cycle before it ever compounds. Reinvesting is an act of faith. Faith that your patience will be rewarded. It's saying to yourself, I choose the future over the moment. And every time you make that choice, your discipline deepens, your control strengthens, and your wealth quietly expands. You see, money grows fastest when it doesn't leave the system. When you keep your profits working, your small snowball starts rolling downhill, gathering more and more, until it becomes unstoppable. That's the hidden power behind every story of transformation. It's not about the amount you reinvest, but the intention behind it. When you choose to let your earnings build upon each other, you are no longer just saving, you're creating momentum. And momentum, once built, is hard to stop. But here's what makes the reinvestment rule challenging. It requires trust. It asks you to believe in delayed reward while resisting instant pleasure. It's about saying not yet even when you could say now. That's why most people never reach financial freedom, not because they don't earn enough, but because they interrupt their own growth too soon. If you can master this phase, to hold, to reinvest, to delay, you'll witness the magic of exponential growth. Your $100 becomes $200, then $400, then $800, not because of miracles, but because you let the process work without interference. Every time you reinvest, you're telling your future self, I care about you. You're sending energy forward, building something that will serve you long after the excitement fades. And one day, when you finally decide to withdraw, it won't be out of impatience, but out of purpose. You'll be withdrawing not to survive, but to create something new. That's the power of reinvestment. It's not just a financial strategy. It's a lifestyle of growth, patience, and respect for the future, because those who keep planting never run out of harvests. 6. The breakthrough moment. There comes a moment in every journey when something shifts. It's quiet, almost invisible, but you feel it. The same $100 that once felt small now feels powerful. The same habits that once felt difficult now feel natural. This is the breakthrough moment. You begin to see results. The small efforts, the waiting, the reinvesting, all of it starts connecting. The curve begins to rise, slowly at first, then faster. You're no longer doubting the process. You're living proof of it. The beautiful thing about growth is that it compounds silently until it suddenly becomes visible. One day, you'll check your progress and realize that your $100 is no longer $100. It's multiplied, not only in number, but in meaning. This is where patience meets reward, but it's also where a new challenge begins. Staying grounded when success starts to show. Because success can make you forget what built it. It can tempt you to become overconfident, careless, or greedy. The same discipline that got you here is the same discipline you must now protect. Your breakthrough is not the end. It's the beginning of responsibility. Now your decisions carry more weight. Your emotions have more power. Your growth becomes a mirror that reflects your maturity. The key in this phase is to remain calm in abundance. Don't rush to expand too fast. Don't let excitement replace structure. Growth can destroy itself when it loses balance. So pause, reflect, remember why you started. Be grateful for the process, for every slow day, every setback, every small win. They shaped the version of you standing here now. The breakthrough moment isn't just about money. It's about self-trust. It's when you finally understand that success was never about luck. It was about showing up, even when nothing seemed to work. And here's the truth. Breakthroughs rarely feel dramatic in real time. They arrive quietly, as calm clarity. You look at your path and realize that you've built something unshakable. You've learned that wealth is not just what you earn, but what you become. Your patience has turned into power. Your consistency has turned into confidence. You're no longer chasing results. You're creating them. The breakthrough is proof that slow growth is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's what happens when faith meets effort over time. So celebrate, but stay humble. You've earned this moment, not by luck, but by loyalty to the process. 7. The transformation. By the time you reach this stage, everything begins to feel different. The $100 that once seemed so small now carries meaning. It is no longer just money. It is proof of your patience, your discipline, and your consistency. The transformation isn't just financial. It's mental, emotional, spiritual. You see opportunities where others see limits. You make decisions calmly, knowing that slow, steady action compounds faster than impulsive moves. Every habit you've built saving, reinvesting, learning, reflecting, now works quietly for you, multiplying over time. Your $100 has grown, but even more importantly, you have grown. You are no longer the same person who first held that bill. You have evolved into someone capable of handling more, someone who respects the process, someone who trusts themselves. The breakthrough isn't just numbers on a screen. It's the confidence in your ability to stay consistent when results are invisible. It's the clarity of mind that comes from mastering impulse over instant gratification. It's the calm assurance that effort, repeated over time, always yields reward. And here's the beauty of transformation. It doesn't stop with $10,000. The skills, the habits, the mindset, you can apply them again and again to every part of life that matters. Your $100 was the beginning, but the person you've become is the true wealth. At this stage, your financial journey becomes a reflection of your personal growth. You no longer fear failure. You embrace learning. You no longer chase luck. You create opportunity. You understand that money is temporary, but the transformation it guides is permanent. And when you look back, you realize the most valuable lesson of all, it wasn't the $100 that became $10,000. It was you who became someone capable of achieving greatness. And now, we arrive at the final step of this journey. The $100 that once felt small has done more than grow into $10,000. It has transformed you. It has taught you patience, discipline, and the power of consistency. It has shown you that wealth is not just about numbers, it is about character, habits, and mindset. As you reflect on this journey, remember, the money was only a tool. The real gain was the person you became along the way. Every choice to save instead of spend, to learn instead of ignore, to reinvest instead of consume. These were the bricks that built the foundation of your success. This is the beauty of small beginnings. A single $100 bill can become 1,000, 10,000, or more, but only when paired with intention, patience, and knowledge. And the same principles apply to every area of life. Small actions, repeated consistently, lead to transformation. Small habits create character. Small decisions shape destiny. Now, you stand at a new beginning. The path forward is no longer about dreaming, it is about doing. The skills you cultivated, the calm focus, the patience, the ability to trust the process, these are yours to carry into every challenge, every opportunity, and every goal you pursue. Remember, this journey doesn't end with money. It ends with mastery. Mastery over your mind, your habits, and your life. And the next $100 seed you plant, the next challenge you face, will grow even faster because you are no longer the person who started small. You are the person who knows how to grow. So take a moment, breathe, appreciate the journey. And if this story inspired you, you can subscribe to my channel to follow more journeys that turn small beginnings into great transformations. Hit the like button, share this video with someone who needs it, and join our community of mindful growth. Your next step starts today, one small intentional action at a time.